Can you imagine a magazine of Southern people? Y'all, it's for real, and it's here to stay. Meet the publisher of Y'all magazine, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning with the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on, I can say it, Y'all magazine. And we're visiting with its president and publisher, Jon Rawl. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank y'all.
Absolutely. That's right. Of course, you know, that's probably something that some of our viewers have trouble saying, but most of them shouldn't have any problem saying.
Y'all is a pretty simple word, and we Southerners love it, and it makes a lot of sense, and that's why we're happy to do a magazine called Y'all, the magazine of Southern people.
The magazine of Southern people. I think I saw y'all had trademarked that phrase.
Oh, sure.
Which is fantastic. Y'all jumped out early on.
That's right.
I say y'all all the time. You don't even recognize I say it.
It's just kind of a natural thing for Southerners, and it's catching on. It's going throughout the world now, and
right.
we're proud of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, the fascinating thing, of course, here in Myrtle, even though, you know, the bulk of our viewers are in southeastern North Carolina and up in the PD, here in Myrtle, there's folks from all over. Heck of a lot of Northerners end up here in Myrtle Beach, so obviously getting them acclimated to the use of y'all may take a little while, but I think when they start saying it, they use it all the time.
It makes a lot of sense, and that's why y'all's catching on, because why say you guys or you'uns or whatever when you can just say y'all?
Or you all, that's right.
Yeah, it's two words. It's just a lot easier to just say y'all, and we Southerners like to simplify things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, make it real easy. That's right. I've heard Rhonda Rich, who's one of your contributing writers, say that quite a bit. We like to simplify things.
Yeah.
What brought you into the idea that this was going to be something you could do, John?
Well, I had worked in television, and also I had been a freelance writer for many years, and one of the real reasons I launched this magazine was because there was nothing out there. There was no magazine that focused on the people of the South. Southern Living is a tremendous success story. They make $250 million a year, but they don't focus on people. They focus on flowers, gardens, and recipes. And I really felt like a magazine that sort of focused on the people of the South, and we cover 15 states, Texas and Oklahoma, down to Florida, up to Virginia and Maryland, over in Kentucky and down. This magazine focuses on celebrities and what we call extraordinary, ordinary Southerners. And we're doing a great job. We're on our 7th issue, and we live in a great part of the world, and Myrtle Beach and the PD are wonderful parts of the South. And we're showcasing people from throughout the South in our magazine. It's a lot of fun.
I saw a very recent issue with some of the sweet South Carolina girls. That was a coup, of course, since you're covering 15 states. You know, y'all focus on a single state. Are y'all going to plan on doing that on a regular basis?
Last year we covered Texas in a similar feature, but this year our current issue, which is on newsstands right now, the March-April issue, has what we call the Sweet South Carolina Girls, and they include Myrtle Beach's own North Myrtle Beach's own Vanna White, Myrtle Beach's own Nancy Odell, who grew up here as Nancy Humphreys and a former Miss South Carolina. We also have from Lancaster, South Carolina, an up-and-coming country music star, Julie Roberts. And from the Columbia area, we have Irmo's Lisa Gibbons. And we have Columbia's Kristen Davis, who's on Sex and the City. We have from Gaffney, South Carolina, Andy McDowell, talented actress. And then we have an up-and-coming television personality from Greenville named Bo Griffin. She's on Turner South. And then from Charleston, we have an actress, an up-and-coming actress named Ashley Scott. And we cover all 8 of those in this new issue of Y'all. It's a pretty interesting feature. We also have other South Carolina stories in this new issue of Y'all, including an interview with Edwin McCain, the you know, sort of country, not country, well, you could call him a little country, mostly pop rock guy from here in South Carolina. And we also have a feature on gardens in Spartanburg and a gentleman down at Sea Pines at Hilton Head.
I saw that. That was a fascinating piece about that gentleman. We got to start a few locations back, and has been going strong ever since.
He's one of the original inhabitants of Hilton Head, and he's seen what's happened down there over the last 40 years. And for the last 40 years, he's worked at Harbortown, and it's an amazing story on Happy Mitchell.
Happy Mitchell.
Mitchell is his last name.
Happy Mitchell, that's right. Y'all.com is a place if a viewer wanted to learn more about the magazine. How about if someone didn't have access to the internet?
We have a phone number that they can call to place orders for both a single copy of the magazine or to subscribe.
Okay.
Subscriptions are only $19.95.
Wow.
And that's for a full year. And that toll-free number is 1-800-935-5185.
Okay.
That's one way to call. If you don't have a phone, you can write to us at P.O. Box 1217, Oxford, Mississippi. And the zip code on that is 38655.
Give me that 800 number again, 800-935?
5185.
5185. Okay, great. So many folks have access, obviously, to an 800 number or to their telephone.
We'll pay the phone call. Just give us a call, y'all.
Yeah, that's right. And, of course, they can go back issues as well.
Sure, back
issues. Can order
issues.
back issues as well. That's very reasonable.
And
to go back.
This actually is a cover. I hope you can pick that up of the most current issue of Y'all magazine, which has Columbia's connection there of Lisa Gibbons and Kristen Davis. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, I can flip here to the page that has Vanna and Nancy O'Dell, both from here in this area.
Oh, yeah.
And,
hold that up. That's perfect.
Nancy is they're both very beautiful and very talented.
Yeah, all 8 of the South Carolina girls you've highlighted and women are amazingly both attractive as well as talented.
Absolutely. And then before that issue, this was our January-February issue that came out, which had President Bush and President Clinton in there, and we interviewed Pat Conroy, a feature on him, the author. Just you can see the variety of magazines. Of course, your North Carolina audience would be interested in this issue, which came out around the holidays with Andy Griffith, and it was a pleasure to talk to him and feature him in the magazine. But that came out. So we've got all kind of great stuff in Y'all magazine.
Of course, y'all just kicked off not too dang long ago,
No.
I mean, back in November of 03.
Right. We were one of the top launches of 2003. Out of 949 magazines, we were one of the top 30 magazines, and we got a little award for that. But what we're doing is a simple magazine, just like the word y'all, and it covers the South. And, you know, there's 105 million people that live in the South. We represent 40% of the entire United States. And if we were our own country now, we already tried that once. It didn't work out too well. But if we were today, we would be one of the top 10 industrial nations in the world. So the South is a booming place, and it's not going to slow down. And our magazine features, you know, the South, the people, and the elements of the culture. You mentioned Rhonda Rich, a columnist for you. She's got a great article in each issue of the magazine that brings in sort of that down-home Southern culture into
what
the magazine.
Southern women want.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
Southern women want, which is great. Of course, the column she writes for us is Dixie Divas.
Sure.
And has been doing it in a lot of community and daily papers around the Southeast and probably expanding into the North quite well.
Yeah, you know, the South is something special, and our magazine captures that. We have our own sort of dialect here in the South. We have our own styles of food. Most of us basically have the same type of religion here in the South, and that we're the Bible Belt. You know, it's just a different place, and it's hot down here and everything else.
Hot in many ways, that's right.
It's definitely
Good
hot.
for you, John.
Absolutely.
And of course, you grew up in the Palmetto State.
I did.
And had spent some time, I believe you were a cadet at the Citadel?
I was. I grew up in Lexington County, near Columbia, and then I went to college at the Citadel. And from there, I moved to Nashville and worked as a journalist in Nashville for several years before I had the crazy idea to start Y'all magazine back in 2003.
Now, tell us how crazy that was, and of course, how you go about launching a magazine, John. I mean, so many folks would think impossible, but how'd you go about making sure A, it was the right time, B, that you'd have enough funding to get it kicked off, and C, that you could sustain it in the early years or the early time before it really got rolling?
Well, first of all, starting any kind of business, whether it's a magazine or a beauty salon or a restaurant, it's not easy. You've got everybody in the world working against you, and you've got to make it happen. Or as one of our columnists, Larry the Cable Guy, likes to say, get her done. And that's what we've tried to do with Y'all magazine. We are getting her done. You have to first start out with a great idea, and we think that Y'all is a great idea because if nothing else, no one's ever done it. A magazine about Southern people. So you've got to have a good idea and something that makes sense and something that can make money, and then you just have to make it happen. And so early on, we had to, deal with the raising of money. We're not Time Warner here. We don't have $10 zillion. We're still a small company. But we've had enough to keep going and certainly make a difference. And part of my primary mission now with Y'all magazine is to build awareness. I think once people actually, if they ever get to see this magazine, they're going to be hooked on it. I know it because I hear it every day from people calling, or I see that how much they love the magazine. Again, there's many reasons for that. One reason, Southerners are very loyal. We like to promote the South, and we understand the South, and our magazine certainly captures that. But we started in 2003, and we're on our 7th issue now. And again, we're not Time Warner, but we're not ready to call it quits either. We're having some real good success, and we're having a great time doing it, which is important when you start in business, to have a good time. And making money's nice too.
Yes, absolutely. How do you go about getting writers together? Do you search all over the South?
Well, we really don't have to, because most of the writers come to us. And since I'm a writer, I know what can be done, and sometimes I do write some of the stories if I have to. I try not to, because I wear many hats. That's one hat I really don't have to wear, nor should I. But when I have to, I do, and that's kind of fun. But the writers are out there, and the kind of stories in our magazine are real simple stories. Our magazine's a lot like a newspaper. It has feature stories. We're not a complex story magazine to read. You can pick us up and read us and enjoy it, and you don't have to have a PhD. It's a fun magazine, and that's why we're being read by all types of people.
I think I saw y'all's circulation is broken 100,000 now.
In some issues our average circulation is 65,000, and that's nationwide, primarily in the South. And here in this part of the world, you can find us at Books A Million, and also IGA stores have us, and also other stores like Bilo have us as well.
I think I saw that. Barnes & Noble as well has got throughout Walmart, Publix.
Walmart.
Walmart's got a great presence. I mean, that's a tremendous seller. And of course, Walmart's the largest employer in Horry County, probably the largest employer. I know it's the largest public employer statewide, so there's a big component there. They probably help move a lot of copies.
Well, we have a lot of fun. Walmart it's everywhere basically, and we want our magazine to be right there along with Walmart. So hopefully at your local Walmart you'll be able to find a copy of Y'all, and if you don't, let us know. 1-800-935-5185. We'll send you a copy.
Absolutely. An 800 number is perfect. Why change careers from entertainment to publishing? That was a big move.
Well, because this is sort of the entertainment business too. I mean, with my job, I get to do a lot of interviews with some very famous people, but I also get to do interviews of my own, like being on this show.
Right, sure.
And I get to be a businessman and go out and meet with advertisers and agencies, and I just I do all kind of things in my job, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. Luckily, I'm not married and I don't have a family, so it's easy, easy on me in some ways.
Right. Well, I'm sure you'll be able to do it with that as well. Oftentimes, those are great pressures to keep you focused, to make sure you use time well. The name Y'all, of course. Had you thought about other names, John, when wanting to do a magazine to focus on people of the South?
No, I really didn't, because we like to keep it simple in the South.
Right.
Y'all rhymes with my last name of Rawl, so it just made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the perfect name for a magazine. If you're going to do a magazine about Southerners, it needs to be called Y'all. So it's kind of a no-brainer.
What were some other names that potentially could have been used? I know that's the only name.
That's the only one.
That's the only one. Yeah.
That's the only one.
Yeah, I can't.
I wish I could give you some great story, but I can't. I mean, that was it. I had the name before I ever had the concept.
You had locked up the .com name a long time ago as well.
Yes. We actually got that, and that's been important to have y'all.com.
Sure.
And so we build our whole image comes from our name and then what we do, and we've done some really cool stuff with it. I mean, Y'all lends itself to so many things, and Southerners. I mean, when I see people and I tell them I'm with Y'all magazine, I instantly usually get a smile. People like the word Y'all, and that's pretty cool. And our logo is important, and it's very catchy. I know it is, because I was walking down a street in Nashville one night, pitch black dark, and a homeless guy walked by me, and I had a Y'all shirt on. He goes, "Hey, what's Y'all?" And so if a homeless guy in Nashville is interested in y'all, then that's pretty cool.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, we do some cool merchandising. Actually, I wanted to bring you a gift today. We have these popular T-shirts out right now.
Oh, great.
I love y'all. Hopefully y'all can see that.
Yeah,
Yes.
The Magazine of Southern People.
That's right.
I love that.
And we have those on our website, and also you can get it through the magazine.
Thank you,
But,
John. That's fantastic.
next time you go out jogging on the beach, you might can wear that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to promote that web address as well, y'all.com.
Yes.
Y-A-L-L. Of course, on the web, there's no apostrophes.
No,
So you got to stick with the Y. I wonder if you all, well, yeah. I wonder if Northerners will do a you-all magazine.
Well, maybe we'll do it one day if we can have some success. I don't want to do it personally, but if it means making money, of course, we'd be interested in that. I think we'd rather do used guys.
Used guys, yeah. Have you gotten any ribbon from our northern neighbors about y'all magazine?
No,
John?
they love it. I mean,
Yeah.
our first subscriber came from Oregon of all places.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, Northerners find it humorous, maybe. I mean, Southerners find it humorous too. But we have a good magazine.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is some serious stuff in there.
It could be considered corny by some people, but it's really not. If you see it, it's simply a magazine of Southern people. We've been called the deep-fried version of People magazine, and so be it. We'll take it.
How'd you go about deciding the 15 states that would be southern states? You mentioned Maryland, which a lot of folks may not consider as a southern state.
Well, we know part of our magazine is history, and the South is very important historically. History is a big part of our makeup. Just for starters, anybody that knows anything about the war between the states, aka Civil War, there were 13 stars on the Confederate flag. So you got to consider all 13 of those,
right.
which the two that are kind of questionable in there are Kentucky and Missouri. The 11 Confederate states are no doubt about it. I mean, but we include Kentucky and Maryland, which makes up the 13. And then the other two are Oklahoma and Maryland, and both of those states are below the Mason-Dixon line. And I think history, like I said, is very important. And because of our history, Oklahoma was actually considered a Confederate territory, and then Maryland was below the Mason-Dixon line. And because of that history and the ties to the South like that, we have our own culture down here. I mean, it really is a different part of the world in terms of all the things I talked about, whether it's food or going to church or just our lifestyle. We take it easy. We like sweet tea and things like that. And you can get it in Oklahoma, and you can get it in Virginia and Maryland, but you cross that border, and it really is different up north. Yeah. And our magazine kind of talks about that, but we mostly talk about people from those states.
From the 15 states.
Sure.
Of course, you had a lot of presidents in the recent past.
Yes.
Golly, from Carter.
I mean, we've been kicking butt in the White House. Last couple of years, I guess you'd say, from Carter and Bush 1, who was sort of a Southerner. Of course, Clinton was darn Southern.
Yeah.
And
Reagan, I guess, didn't have that excuse.
He should have been a Southerner. He sure acted like it, but you know, other than Reagan, we've kind of had control of the White House for a long time now. It's pretty cool. Hopefully, we'll have a good Southerner run in 2008 on both sides. It'd be great.
Any thoughts on that now, John? Have you been thinking about that? Who's going to step out?
Oh, I thought you were asking me if I was going to run.
Are you thinking about running? Excuse me.
I don't know if I qualify on the age thing. I know Frist is thinking about running.
Yeah. Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee Senator. He's thinking about running. I'm thinking that a strong Republican could be Fred Thompson, who we actually have featured in our issue. I don't really think he wants to do it. He enjoys being an actor, but
Law and Order.
But he could do it. And then I know there's some talk about Mark Warner, the governor of Georgia, of Virginia, running from the Democratic side, and I think that would be a good choice. I mean, the Democrats need to get control or try to take control of the South, or parts of the South at least, to make it viable, because they know the South's important. So either way, as long as we got a Southerner, we'll be in good shape.
You've done a lot of focus on Southern heritage. I think I saw you did a big project at some point.
Yeah.
It was the General Forestry.
Right. I grew up here in the state, and history as a South Carolina is very important. You know, whether it's the Swamp Fox or the Fighting Gamecock, Thomas Sumter, or some of our old Civil War generals like Wade Hampton. I did a video on General Nathan Bedford Forrest a couple of years ago, who was this great commander of cavalry during the Civil War, and got to interview Shelby Foote, the famous Civil War author, and so that was a lot of fun, and it's out there, called Rebel Forest. is the name of that, and I have a website for that, Rebel Forest, FORREST.com. And interestingly enough, Forrest Gump, the famous TV movie, was named after General Forrest. So
Is that
it's
right?
pretty neat story. Do you like history?
Do I like history?
Yeah.
I enjoy history as a Tar Heel native, and I've been down here long enough to now have a little bit of appreciation, particularly the recognition of y'all. Thanks for asking, John.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks for asking. You know, you think about so many aspects that you can put in a magazine. If someone wants to pick it up, as you said, virtually anyone can read it, don't need a PhD, but what are some of the normal topics that someone will find? Obviously, this month's this issue's focus on Sweet Carolina Girls. What are some of the other aspects they're going to find in there on a regular basis?
Sure. Well, each issue always has music in there, and we've had interviews with some of the great country music stars, and we've also had some of the great rockers and pop stars. We've got Jason Mraz in one of our past issues. The current issue, like I said, has Edwin McCain.
Right.
We've got Willie Nelson coming up. We've interviewed him. And that'll be in an upcoming issue.
Right.
So you've always got music. We have great books of the South that are out right now. Cassandra Conroy,
Cassandra King, right.
She's got a story, interview on her. We've got just a blend of all kinds of things about the TV shows. We have a great story out in the new issue on American Idol.
Yes.
American Idol has every winner of American Idol has been a Southerner, and so we have a great feature.
I saw that, which was very exciting. A couple of them, North Carolinians.
Yeah, we have Clay Aiken there. Everybody loves Clay. He's on there. And we also have Reuben and Fantasia. But the South has dominated that show, and hopefully we'll have a new winner from the South on the new series.
I think I saw, isn't Fantasia from High Point, or has High Point, North Carolina ties, and Clay Aiken from Raleigh? There was a young woman from Wilmington recently. American Idol's been such a huge hit for the South.
Sure.
And obviously all over the world, really, but great to highlight some of these amazing Southerners.
Well, the South produces a lot of great singers. Not a lot of rock superstars come out of North Dakota.
No.
But we've got a lot of great rock and country and blues and everything else coming out of the South.
Yeah, these 15 states.
Sure.
That's an amazing, as you said, it would be the 10th most, the 10th largest, or in the top 10.
One of the top 10.
Right. One of the top 10, and probably gross domestic
And be
product.
number one in the world in terms of entertainment. I mean, we've had Elvis, and we've had B.B. King, and we've got, a lot of the great actors and actresses come from the South.
Absolutely, John. What do you think's been most exciting for you over the last 15 months, having kicked off the magazine in November of 2003? Everything that led up to the kickoff, and everything you've done to make sure that it remains a successful publication since you're not Time Warner.
Sure. Just doing all the things that I get to do makes it a lot of fun, and it's a challenge. Again, there's a lot to do, and I need to be throughout these 15 states as much as I can. I know that, and I'm going to be there.
Right.
I'm kind of in favor of cloning. I wish we could find a way to do that here pretty soon, but no, it's just a challenge of getting out there and spreading the word. I mean, that's my number one goal, is to spread the word.
Oh, yeah.
And once people actually see it or have the opportunity to see it, they're going to like Y'all magazine, and I hope they'll subscribe. I hope they'll pick up the issue. But if not, right now, we're just trying to build awareness and let people know who we are. And it's a great value. It's a great thing to give friends or family as gifts, whether it's birthday or Christmas or Easter or whatever.
You can buy gift subscriptions.
Sure.
They can do that online at y'all.com or call in the 800-935-5185 number.
And when you subscribe for $19.95, you can get a gift subscription for only $12.95. So it's a really good value. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I love getting stuff in the mail. Not junk mail. I just love getting like magazines or other things like that. And there's something special about getting a magazine that you subscribe to coming to you in the mail. And we would love for that magazine to be Y'all magazine coming to you. Coming to y'all, excuse me.
Coming to y'all, absolutely. Golly, John, how exciting for you, as you reflect back over that last 15 months. And I'm sorry to drive that home, but you think through how exciting it's been to see it actually come to print the first time. Can you think back to that first issue and see now 7 issues later, some of the any changes, anything that's really set in that you needed to do differently, things that you're looking forward to doing 15 months from now?
Sure. I like to say and joke around, I don't really drink beer that much, but occasionally I'm, going to break one out. I like to say the magazine's kind of like my beer gut. It's going to get bigger and better every year, and I think it will be. It's actually funny now that I go back and look at old issues. I'm like, that's a really good article. I should have paid more attention to it then. because we are cranking these things out, we've got to stay kind of thinking about what's next instead of what's happened in the past. So we got some really good issues in the past. We've had Harry Connick Jr. on one of our covers. We've had Jessica Simpson, who's really hot out there right now, and Jeff Foxworthy was featured prominently in one of our issues. So going back and looking at what we did in the old days, it's sure it's a lot of work and things we could be doing better, but we've done a great job, and we're only going to get better.
You should be proud.
And I'm just going to switch to root beer instead, so I can not worry about the pounds or whatever.
The big gut, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Jon.
Thank you all very much, and look forward to it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Jon Rawl coming up next. (800-935-5185). You know, it sounds like an ad. Send me 1 year subscription of Y'all magazine at the special price of $19.95. But it's not that. It's a magazine of Southern people. We need to take the time to make a call like this. You know, Carolina People's a non-commercial show. But this is a real opportunity. There's 103 million Southerners. They need to get together, bond together. This is a great opportunity, bi-monthly, every other month, to take the opportunity to highlight Southern people to folks all over the world. You heard Jon talk about it. His first subscriber was from Oregon. Folks want to know about the South. They want to be a part of the South. They want to reach in. It's very cathartic in a sense of really getting into the South. Give them a call, 800-935-5185, or go online at y'all.com.